Alright folks, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. It's always a pleasure to see you. We've got the semi-finals tonight over in Mexico, and we've got the final tomorrow afternoon over in Dubai. Three of the best for us to talk about in this one. We'll waste no time in doing so, so like the video if you would, get yourself subscribed to the channel if you're not. We continue to grow each and every day. We're cruising at a fine pace here. I'm very grateful for each and every one of you for getting involved and staying involved, obviously. If you want to support the channel, link is in the description and the pinned comment, along with the picks. Speaking of picks, did anyone take the double with me last night? Hands up. El Chapo, Felix. Happy days. Happy day. It could have been easier. Could have done without the pair of them dropping the first set, but they got the win. That's all that matters. Well done to you if you took that. Did you follow? Did you do something completely different, Did you do your own thing? Either way, let me know. Share with the group, don't be shy. I'm always interested. Let's talk about these ones today, innit? Right, we've only got three. Should be short and sweet. We'll start off over in Mexico. This is starting in a couple of hours. We have got Thomas Mahach and, one sec. I'm just going to plug in. Thomas Mahach, Brandon Nakashima. This should be really good. This should be a really, really entertaining game of tennis. I think Thomas Mahach is going to beat him. While we're talking about Thomas Mahach as well, who remembers anyone take him on the outright with me at the start of the tournament? 11-1. I got Thomas Mahach. Yeah, he's now pretty much nailed on favourite to win this now, but I don't know whether to just cash out or let it ride. For what it's worth, I should probably just cash out, but you know me. I go all in, I get stuck in, don't I? Let me know, what would you do on that? He's played really good, hasn't he? I mean, he's been just as good as what I expected him to be. I'm more than aware of the level of Thomas Mahach when he can provide it. Brandon Nakashima, decent results, a couple of decent results. On paper, they look good. He did have a close game with Benjamin Bonzi. Didn't play against Holger Rune. We all know what happened there. And then he got it done against David Goffin last night. Straight sets, tiebreaker in the first, and then 6-2 in the second. Now, I don't know about you. I don't want to take anything away from Benak here, because we all like him. We're all Benak fans, aren't we? He done some bits for us over the summer last year. I can't help but think he's had quite an easy draw. Quite an easy draw. I mean, compared to the one Thomas Mahach has, he hasn't exactly had a solid one either, but I think the draw that Benak's had, especially with getting what was essentially the walkover against Holger Rune, has been very, very favourable. It's probably as good as it's going to get. David Goffin, I will admit, on paper, he looked really, really good until he ran into Benak. That game against Ben Shelton, I said it, didn't I? I'm not having it with that. Ben Shelton looked well off it. He was going back and forth with a really, really bad version of Ben Shelton. So, like I say, the win against David Goffin doesn't hold much weight to me either. Still good that he got the win, but I don't know. Leonard Tien, I imagine there was a lot of people out there that thought Leonard Tien was going to beat Thomas Mahach. I said it, didn't I? I had a feeling he could them, but I told you, didn't I? I told you Thomas Mahach would probably beat him. He's just too good. He's a lot better than Leonard Tien. I still can't believe he beat Zverev. I still can't believe he beat Zverev the way he did, and then, look, you can't win a set off Thomas Mahach. Is that testament to, what kind of a place Zverev's in at the moment, or is that pretty much proving how good Thomas Mahach is playing? I don't know, you tell me. Have these played before? Nah, they've never played before. I don't think it matters. Look, I think it may be a little bit closer than what I would like it to be. What are you going to do about that? Ultimately, like I've said all week, I'm going to trust the winning formula. That has pretty much gone with me all week as well. I can't help but think Thomas Mahach is going to win this one. Whether he wins the title, I'm not so sure, but I think at least he makes it to the final. I think he's a lot better than Brandon Nakashima. I do. Even if both turn up 100%, playing the best game, I think we know who's going to be the winner in this. And that's, like I say, it's no shade to Beanach whatsoever. He's really good, but apart from this tournament, he weren't that great, was he? He was bang out of form leading into this, and he seems to have just snapped into form for this tournament, and it does look good on paper, the result. But like I've just said, very, very easy draw, if you'd ask me. Only played 2 of the 3 games as well. David Goffin has been quite shit all year, and Benjamin Bonzi, as much as it pains me to admit, but he can be very, very inconsistent. He can be decent as well, but I don't know. At this point in time, he's not exactly playing the best version of tennis. So Thomas Mahach's only defeat in his last 10 games has been to who? That's right, El Chapo over in Dallas, and we all know what happened there. And he beat pretty much everyone before that, and then he smoked everyone else since. Only dropped the 1 set all week. That was to Mensik in the first game, and it was quite the set to drop as well. I was a little bit concerned, but he looked really good against Daniel Altmaier, and he looked even better against Leonard Tien. He's just getting better gradually as this tournament gets on. Beanach, I think he's going to run into somewhat of a brick wall today against Thomas Mahach. I really do. According to the bookies, we're getting Thomas Mahach at 1.6, and I can't help but agree with that, folks. Like I said at the start, I'm all in with Thomas Mahach here. If he wins, and then, I don't know, we'll get to that in a sec. I would love him to win, not only for the outright, but obviously it'd be great for him personally, but we'll leave it at that. I'd say Thomas Mahach gets that one done. It may be close, like I say, there may be a few moments where you're going, fucking hell, Beanach's going to do him. Wouldn't put it past him. Ultimately, I think Thomas Mahach is going to prevail. The level will just be a little bit too much. I think he is just, if anything, a little bit better than Brandon Nakashima. If not, quite a lot better. So, you do with that what you will, and we'll move on to the final. Well, I was going to say the final of the semi-finals, but that just sounds stupid. The last semi-final of the day. Over in Mexico, and we've got El Chapo and Alejandro Davidovich Fekina. Giles smoked that kid the other night, didn't he? Was it Pacheco Mendes 6-2, 6-2? Yeah. Not a lot you can do about that, unfortunately. I mean, there is just levels to this game, isn't there? There's just sheer levels. Davidovich Fekina showing them in that one. I expected nothing less of him, being honest with you. Prior to that game, very, very close one with Tiafoe, and a very close game against Matteo Bellucci as well, who, as we seen in qualifying, didn't look too great for that. Dropped that first set 6-1 to Bellucci, took a tiebreaker in the second, and then 6-2. I don't know, he's tricky. I've said it all season pretty much, and it remains the same, folks. Like, Davidovich Fekina's playing so good. 10 times better than what anyone's given him credit for. He's got some really good wins already. Do I think he's going to beat El Chapo today? And that's a different story, innit? I don't know. I keep going back to that game. Remember the Delray Beach final where he ended up losing to Kekmanovic somehow? Now, I did say, didn't I, like the most important thing is that he gets back to winning ways after that, and give him his due. That's exactly what he's done. But 8 wins out of his last 10. I don't know. I said he's been playing good. Brandon Holt, Taro Daniel, Mackenzie McDonald, Taylor Fritz. All right, Matteo Arnaldi. Okay, and then Matteo Bellucci, Francis Tiafoe, and then Pedro. I was gonna say Pedro Mendes. Then Pacheco Mendes. It's a tough one, isn't he? Just can't seem to get a read on Giles sometimes. I really can't. I can't say the same for El Chapo though. I mean, we know exactly where this lad's at the moment, don't we? I'm very, very happy with what I'm witnessing with Denis Shapovalov currently, folks. I mean, hands up. He was worrying after that first set against Marcus Giron last night. Look, hindsight's always 20/20, isn't it? You know, providing he's never took a set off him until that match, you know, you probably would have been wise to assume that Marcus Giron would have been good for at least a set. Or I know I spoke to someone in the comments and they thought, you know, they fancied Giron to take it. It was just one of them games where it probably could have went either way. El Chapo just turned it on when we needed it to, though, didn't we? Didn't we? He's so good. Like, do I think he's gonna win this one? I do, I do. Not only, like, obviously we watched him throughout the entire Dallas. He was fantastic. How many times have we mentioned that? Kekmanovic, Taylor Fritz, Thomas Mahatch, Tommy Paul, Casper Ruud, and then he didn't play in Delray Beach. We skipped ahead to this one. He then beat Nishesh, Alex Michelson, and then Marcus Garon. Um, that's the first set he's dropped all week as well against Marcus Garon. He was just brilliant. He was brilliant. He was times in that first set where it looked like he started to lose his shit a little bit. He was screaming and shouting and whatnot. Um, he was having problems with the balls, where he was complaining about the balls or something. I don't know what it was exactly, but um, nonetheless managed to dig deep, a lot deeper than Marcus got on, and come out victorious in the end. And I'll be honest with you folks, I was never really in doubt. I was never in doubt. He's just been playing too good. He's been playing too good, and I know anything's possible, but I just couldn't see Marcus Garon being the one to end this run of Chapo at the moment. That's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games on the bounce now. 8 games in a run, dating back to the start of Dallas, and then would you put it past him to go ahead and win this one? I really wouldn't. I think he's really good, just as good as Thomas Mahatch for the title here, in my opinion. We can trust them, can't we? What are you going for here, folks? You've got to let me know. I think you know very well what I'm going for in this. There's no reason for me to go against El Chapo whatsoever. I mean, why would you? Why would you? You can't be rolling the dice on the downfall of Chapo here. You really can't. Not while he's playing like this. There's not many that are going to be able to do much against him. Not in this current form. Davidovich Fekina, more than capable of doing so. I'll give him that. I will most definitely give him that. Really, really impressed me so far this year. 12 and 5, 11 and 4 on the hard court, and then obviously El Chapo's 10 and 3. These played each other in the Indian Wells 2022. That went the way of Chapo. I can't help but feel like if Chapo beat him in 2022, I feel like this version of Denis Shapovalov will very most likely win this game. Not 100% certain, but I can't go against them. You'd be a fool to go against Chapo the way he's playing. You really would. What's that? 1.57, 1.6, 1.55 to 1.6. Similar to the Thomas Mahatch one. Once again, folks, I can't help but agree with that. That's the perfect parlay, and it's just the two favourites. 2 really good games. At that price, that'll be well over evens, plus money for that. What are you saying? Stick that in your back pocket? Hey, why the fuck not? And that does us for over in Mexico. Like I said, only the two belters nonetheless. And then the final. We got the final over in Dubai. So did anybody watch Tsitsipas play Talon Greek Sport today? He looked good, didn't he? He looked really, really good. Did anyone watch Felix Auger-Aliassime play Quinton Hallis? Now, I was very relieved that Felix managed to get the win, cash the parlay. Very, very happy with that. Just another long game again, innit? Coming into this final, like, if you've been taking Felix all week and you're looking on to, if you were banking on taking him in this final, yeah, the last thing you needed was that sort of match against Quinton Hallis. It's just another grueling one. Slog Hallis played really good as well. Like I said, he's strong and he can, when he serves well, he's tough to break. The games do tend to go well. They tend to drag on more often than not. Tsitsipas has been brilliant. Say something about the folks. What are you going to say? He's been really good all week. I don't think anyone expected him to be this good, especially on the hard court. Spot on against Lorenzo Sonego. Got it done against Karen Khachanov. He did drop that set. Quite a strange set to drop, but nonetheless come back, rallied in the third. Pretty much the same against Berrettini. Set he dropped was a bit of a you didn't know what was going to happen, but good enough to come back in the third. 6-1 he dropped that in the second set against Berrettini, and it was 6-2 against Khachanov too. I could have swore he would have at least maybe dropped one, maybe lost a tiebreaker to Talon Greek Sport today, but no. No, sir. Tsitsipas had rather different plans, if I'm being honest. 6-4, 6-4, solid. I watched all of it. It was just solid. It was exactly not what I expected, but it was exactly what I know that he can bring. Um, Greek Sport had nothing for him. Now I know he did have to get a medical timeout at the end of that first set, so I don't know what that was about, but he was clearly good enough to carry on. Just didn't have the minerals to get past the number 11 in the world at the moment. Felix has been brilliant all year, and folks, we've been saying this. I know. You don't have to tell me twice. I say it every day, don't I, pretty much now. 2 titles to his name. He's now in a final again. Will Felix make it a 3rd final? I wouldn't call you crazy if you were to assume that he is. Very close on the odds. You know, you've got this at 1.7, 1.75 for Stefanos Tsitsipas here. That's lovely, if you'd ask me. I think, given the draw that Felix has had, you know, the game against Bublik, 3 sets. You know, he's been fairly dominant in the 3rd set in all of these games, apart from maybe the Nuno Borges game, but 3 sets against Bublik, 3 sets against Nuno Borges, 3 sets against Marin Cilic, 3 sets against Quinton Hallis. I don't know about you. I am not so certain how much Felix is going to have left in the tank for this one. I certainly don't think he's going to have enough left to go 3 sets with this version of Tsitsipas. I don't. I really don't. Hallis was fucking running them all around the court today. Marin Cilic was running them all around the court the other day. I don't know. If you'd ask me, folks, if you want my honest opinion, I think this is tailor-made for Stefanos Tsitsipas to just make his little resurgence here, get himself back to winning ways. Why not? Why not? I can see it. Look, Felix did manage to deal with Quinton Hallis in the end today, but I feel like the fitness will always be an issue when it comes to Quinton Hallis. Felix isn't going to be any fresher for this one. Stefanos Tsitsipas has spent significantly less amount of time on the courts this week than Felix. He's just looked better. I imagine he's going to be the fresher one in this. He's in rather fine fettle over in Dubai. I'd be willing to roll the dice and say he wraps this title up, folks. I really do. Like I say, Felix has been fantastic. It's weird because, you know, contrary to what I always say, Felix has given me no reason to go against him whatsoever. Not much this season, but I know what I've seen all week. Quite a favourable draw, and he has just slugged his way through all of them. Like barely slugged his way. They all could have went either way. I don't think you're going to get the chance to be that inconsistent against this version of Tsitsipas. I really don't, folks. And at that price, 1.75, I'd have to go for it. Have to go for it at this point. Let me know what you think. Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm right? We'll see. All shall be answered very, very soon, folks. That's everything, innit? Aye. Very well then. I'll be saying good night. Take it easy, yeah. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Been doing really well, folks, haven't we? I was going to say just the past few weeks, but even since the start of the season, we've been in really good shape. We've won a lot more than what we've lost. I know that for certain. I don't know the numbers exactly. You can probably go back and check if you want, if you can be asked. I don't blame you if you can't. I'll probably do that myself sooner than later. I don't know. We'll see what happens, innit? Let's just focus on this. Get these tournaments out the way. And we're into the Indian Wells very, very soon, aren't we? We're going to have a day off in between. It might be Monday night, but I don't know. Don't quote me on that. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, folks. Stay beautiful. I appreciate you all taking the time to watch. And, you know, just fucking, yeah. Come and chill and watch, talk shit about the tennis and that. It's alright, innit? We've got a fine little group of folk over here. I really enjoy spending the time talking to you every night. I really do. It makes my day. But that being said, I'm off. Gonna go and get ready and watch my Hatch and Beanach. Don't know what I'm going for. Actually, yeah, I do. And I imagine you wouldn't well know by now as well. They're always in the pinned comments, aren't they? I'm not gonna say it because I'm not certain as of yet. But whatever it is, I imagine it's a good one. let's go get that cash again, folks. I'll see you tomorrow night for the Acapulco final. Enjoy the tennis. Let's go get it today. See you tomorrow.